Everyone cool? Everyone ready? Alrighty then. I'll call this September 12th, 2022 business meeting to order. Roll call.
Dr. Campley?
Here.
Mr. Dorr?
Here.
Mrs. Evans-Brockett?
Here.
Mr. Fountain?
Here.
Mr. Keenan?
Here.
Dr. Kohler?
Here.
Mrs. Mayers?
Here.
Mr. Saylor?
Here.
Ms. White?
Alright, everyone join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The mission of Herculement Valley School District is to cultivate an inclusive community of learners empowered to grow intellectually, socially, and emotionally. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the ayes have it. Comments on any topic. Just a reminder, you'll have 3 minutes to make a comment. Please state your first and last name and where you live. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to speak? Seeing one. And then just make sure, it should be on, but if it's not, there's a button. It's not on.
Hello. Okay. Wow, that's loud. Hello, my name is Jessica Lofton and I live in Skippack Township. I graduated from PV in 2021. As a child, I was an innocent, happy kid and always looking for adventure and always had a smile on my face. Though growing up, it was not easy. I have heard recently that there was complaints with the dress code, and I'm here to stand up for those students that are here today. Well, not here today, but in the school. I was excited when I first came to PV in the fall of 2017. Coming to the high school, I did not look like what I did today. I was a lot bigger than I am now. Throughout the high school, I tried to be happier with my body, and I would try to tell myself that I am beautiful and that I could make it through the day without feeling ashamed of myself. When I tried crop tops, which I saw many other girls wearing in school, including my older sister who is thinner than me, wearing a crop top, like I saw the other girls wearing, made me feel empowered and as if I did not need to hide who I was. I would wear them to school with a cardigan just to get used to wearing them in public. As I got to wear them more, I felt better until I was dress coded. I did not understand why one of the only people in the school was getting dress coded, and then I realized it was only the heavier girls that were getting dress coded, and that schools were fat shaming girls. I would see girls who were way skinnier than me wear the crop tops throughout the day, and while I had to change or cover up. That's when I started to starve myself. I saw the pounds coming off of me. My friends would even say I was getting too skinny. I would even get lightheaded and sometimes faint. I would still try to wear crop tops to school like the other girls, but still get dress coded. Even in the middle of the pandemic year of my senior year, when students would refuse to wear masks, which was recommended for health reasons, I got dress coded because of my midriff. It was hard to focus in school when I was dress coded. All I could think was they're calling me fat. I would try and learn, and it was hard, just everything going on in my head. I felt as though I had no control in my life. I tried to do my best and smile throughout the day, and the thoughts just kept rolling in my head. I felt as though I was disappointed, a failure. I felt gross and ugly throughout the day. I would wake up the next morning having a panic attack because I could not find something to wear that was comfortable. I would at least try on 5 different outfits until something felt right. The way I was treated in the school because of my body shape and clothing choices had contributed to my severe depression, anxiety, PTSD, and body dysmorphia, and I used to self-harm. I have tattoos now to cover up my scars on my stomach from where I would cut myself because I felt so bad about my stomach. I have been through hell and back, and I'm only 19 years old. I have felt pain and fear that no one should go through. I have survived through depression, anxiety, PTSD, ADHD, OCD, and body dysmorphia. I may not be a happy little girl I used to be, but I'm a survivor who is able to finally tell my story and hopefully help those who are going through what I've been through. I am glad I'm in college now where my professors treat me with respect, and I feel comfortable that they are not judging me. I hope you really listen to my story and understand that the ways the dress codes are implicated in the high school has long-term negative effects. Please consider this negative impact that dress coding has on students and work to revise the policy so girls do not feel targeted. Thank you.
Jessica, thank you very much.
Good evening. My name's Judy Lofton. I live in Skipback Township, and I'd also like to comment on the dress code. So if you actually read the policy for the dress code, there's really nothing wrong with the policy. It says the board will not interfere with the right of students and their parents or guardians to make decisions regarding their appearance, except when their choices affect the educational program of the schools or the health and safety of others. And, you know, I've had this conversation before about I'm not really sure how an inch or two of stomach skin affects the educational program of the schools. But, you know, there's other parts of the dress code that are important. So, for example, it says that students cannot wear anything that supports the use of illegal drugs. So I conducted a little experiment. My son attended a concert, not this past summer, but the summer before, of a performer who is very much an advocate for legalization of marijuana. And he came home with a t-shirt that on the shirt it says "Trip at Night" and has a skeleton smoking a joint on it. And he came downstairs the next morning and was ready to wear this to school. And I said, "Oh, you can't wear that to school. That's promoting drug use." And he was very sad. And I said, "You know what? Go ahead and wear it. Bring an extra shirt in case someone tells you to change, but just wear it. See what happens." Nothing. That was okay for him to wear to school. He probably wore it almost every week last year to school, and no one ever said a word to him. So I really feel as though the way our dress code is being implemented and applied in the high school is specifically to target girls and their choices around their bodies. And I really have a problem about its implementation. And I hope you all seriously consider that it is having negative impacts on people and look to try to do it in a way that is creating a more supportive and healthy environment for girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lofton. Anyone else? Okay. Moving on to reports and presentations. Student liaison report, president's report, superintendent report, and solicitor's report were given last week's work session. Just want to double check. Mr. Shaver, do you have anything else? Dr. Russell?
I do. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Moran, who would like to take just a few minutes to introduce our new assistant principal, or the individual who's being recommended this evening to serve as the new assistant principal at Middle School East.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening. It is with excitement and great pleasure that I have the opportunity to introduce to our school board and PV community our newest recommended assistant principal for Middle School East, Mr. Timothy Padilla, who is here with us today. Mr. Padilla is also joined with one of our English teachers from the high school, Christy Now, so thank you for your support to Mr. Padilla. I told him he had to do a presentation, so he brought some backup. So I just want to share some information about Mr. Padilla and why he was selected as our recommended candidate. Mr. Padilla outshined over 40 candidates through an extensive hiring process that involved interviewing with and presenting to teachers, administrators, and parents, all of which unanimously recommended Mr. Padilla for this position. He earned his Bachelor of Science in General Science from Delaware University, his Master of Science in Education from Temple University, and most recently his Principal Certification from Point Park University. He has 17 years experience in education. He began his teaching career in 2005, where for 10 years he helped shape the young scientific minds of middle school students in the school district of Philadelphia. In 2015, Mr. Padilla joined the Frederick Douglass Mastery Charter School, where he served as a master teacher and then assistant principal for 6 years, until his most recent adventure in becoming an assistant principal in the Reading School District. Mr. Padilla's extensive service to students, staff, and families with a variety of experiences and backgrounds make him an asset to any school community, and we're lucky to have him as our recommended candidate. In the words of some of Mr. Padilla's supervising colleagues, Mr. Padilla is a genuine leader. It is a privilege working with someone as student-focused as Mr. Padilla. He works tirelessly to foster meaningful connections and build community. He is passionate about students and his staff. For these reasons, we're excited for the opportunity to have Mr. Padilla join our PV community, and we're excited for that opportunity, so thank you. And welcome, Mr. Padilla.
Lister's report.
I don't have anything to report. Thanks for having me. I'm not Brian Supers. I'm Alicia Luke, but I work with Brian, and he's wonderful, and I'm glad to be here tonight.
Thank you. Board and district committee reports. I know we sent out an email about PV, my brain just died, about an upcoming seminar that we could sign up for. If you could get back to me by tonight, if you're interested that way. Sarah, do you want to connect with Jennifer, and then we could set up like some times and send everything out? So right now we have Don, myself, Kim are interested in attending. If anyone else is interested, just connect with myself and Sarah just to let us know, and we'll set that up. Does anyone else have any discussions on the board and district committee reports? Dr. Russell?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Saylor. I wanted to just share publicly 2 recommendations that I have made to the board and make sure that there are no questions about that. We would like to continue with the live stream, the YouTube live stream, and I will call out Melina Cavalier tonight. We often have a student sort of tucked away over there in the library, and these students are PV High School students, and they attend at night, and they run the live stream for us on YouTube, and we have individuals who tune in that way to our board meetings as opposed to coming in person. What I am recommending to the board is that we pull back on Zoom and that we no longer have Zoom in addition to the YouTube live stream. We get very few people that participate via Zoom. The second recommendation that I'm making to the board is that we continue with committees of the whole and not create that hybrid situation that we had talked a little bit about last spring. And I had proposed to the board as an idea to support a transition to our committee of the whole structures for education and finance, which are now up and running as part of our work sessions. So I wanted to share those recommendations in public and make sure that there weren't questions or comments about either of those.
Any questions from anyone? Nope. Okay.
Thank you.
Motion to approve, or looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Is there a second? I know how you're voting. Any discussions? Seeing none. All in favor? See, now you got me lost my train of thought. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Education, Mr. Keenan. Sorry.
4.02, 03, 04, 05 are on consent. 4.06 and 7, action was taken for the foreign exchange student on September 6th, and we had the enrollment report last week. So I think that ends my section.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dorr, business? Oh, excuse me, Dr. Kohler, business?
Item 5.01 was the Finance Committee of the Whole. Mr. Weaver, do you have anything to add? Okay. 5.02, 3 are on consent. I move to approve 5.04 and 5.05. So I make a motion. I need a second.
Have a second. Any discussions? Seeing none. All in favor to approve 5.03 and 5.04, signify.
4 and 5.
So move 4 and 5, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motions pass.
5.06, action was taken. 07 and 08 are on consent. 09, action was taken, and 10, action was taken. That concludes the business section.
Thank you very much. Payment and bills, Ms. Evans Brockett.
Motion to approve items 6.01 and 6.02.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motions are approved. Thank you very much, Ms. Evans Brockett. Professional personnel, Mr. Fountain.
7.01 through 7.06 are all on consent. 7.07 action was taken last week. 7.08, you're too welcome, and we request a motion, or make a motion to approve the administrative appointment as listed.
Any discussions on the matter? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. So the motion to approve the administrative appointment of Mr. Padilla is confirmed. Congratulations. Support personnel, Mr. Dorr.
Thank you. 8.01, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all on consent. 8.07 is motion to approve administrative appointment as listed, and I so move.
Is there a second? No, it's a discharge.
My bad. 8.07, motion to approve discharge resolution as presented, and I so move.
Second. Any discussions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Dorr. Governance, Mrs. Mayers.
Thank you. 9.01, the motion is to choose and endorse candidates for 2023 PSBA officers, and there's no question here, so I move.
There's a second. Any discussions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And the ayes have it.
That ends my section.
Thank you very much. Any comments from the audience? Give us 1 second. We'll get the timer up. It's already up.
Was on. Robert Liggett, Herculement Township. Throughout the summer, there's been meetings going on dealing with the Equity Task Force. And for the last 2 meetings, although it is attached in the committee sections, this hasn't even been mentioned. On September the 20th at 6 p.m. in this room, we'll be having an important meeting of the Policy Committee, one of the few committees that still meets separate from the board. I'm just going to encourage everybody to review what is in the attachments. You may need to click through to find the proposed policies, but please do that. I think it's important that if we had to form a committee in order to look at this policy, the public and we should all be discussing it. This is going to be the first step in doing anything with this policy. Equity is something that's going to affect all of us in one way or another. And we each have a role to play in this, regardless of what your views are. That is the time and the first and really the only chance that the general public will have to speak on this issue. So I encourage everyone to look into this and to make sure that it's publicized and that we actually get some attendance here, because my ideas aren't going to be the ones that are going to prevail. It needs to be the community's ideals. And the only way to have that is by having the public come out and for the board, which to be receptive to what the public has to say. I just think it's vitally important that we do this. Equity is one of the few things that can either bind us or tear us apart. We need to make sure that all the views come across and that we're open to them. that we can work on what definitions are of some of these terms that cause discomfort for some and sometimes arguments. We need to come together, and the only way we're going to do that is if we actually do meet. I'm really grateful that there was a committee that's been met throughout the summer to hash out these ideas before us and bring their ideas to a group. Now it's the responsibility of the board to listen to what this group had to say, and it is also the responsibility of the public to continue their input and let us all know what's important to us. So I hope that I will see a lot of people here on September the 20th at 6 p.m. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Seeing none. Comments from board members. Ms. Evans-Brockett.
Thank you. Dr. Russell, I know you were going to meet with some students regarding the dress code, and I guess I'm just confused what happened. I've been hearing a lot from students too, because we haven't changed the policy. So if you could provide an update to the board in this week's memo as far as what's going on with that, because it does seem to be causing a lot of discomfort among students.
I'm happy to do that. Yeah, there does seem to be a lot more conversation about that. I'm scheduled to meet with students Thursday morning this week, so it's timely to be able to follow up with the board in the Friday memo. I think district administration, or excuse me, high school administration has been having more conversations about what students are wearing. So I look forward to learning from the students' perspectives. Dr. Moss is also joining me for that conversation. So I'll follow up with the board.
Dr. Kohler.
I just wanted to quickly reiterate, an email went out from the district foundation today about an upcoming 5K to raise money for our PV Woods. So if you didn't receive that, please let somebody know. But if you are interested in signing up, it's for a really great cause.
Thank you. Mr. Fountain.
I have nothing.
What?
Just to relay congratulations to Mr. Padilla. Mr. Padilla, we're going to get your name right and feel comfortable with it. Welcome to Herculement Valley, and we look forward to working with you.
Mr. Dorr, Mr. Keenan, Dr. Campley.
Hi, yes. So I'm not sure how many are aware, but we have Friday night's game for football is honoring the different service workers, and there's going to be a collection of sweats. So it's sweats for vets, so come with different size sweatshirts and sweatpants. And there will be a collection. Rolling Thunder is the organization that's collecting these items. And then what they do is they take them to the veterans and they make care packages for them.
Ms. Mayers?
Thank you. I wanted to thank Ms. Jessica Lofton for coming out tonight. That could not have been easy to share your story, and I really appreciate it. And I'm glad to hear that you're leaning to a very healthy shift in your journey. So really, thank you for being brave. And also, I wanted to thank administration and the district for really starting to focus more heavily on transition services for our students who need more support to be successful in their lives. So we support our academic students, and we support, through through the tech school. So I'm just really grateful and look forward to hearing more, watching our district really move forward in this area so that all of our students will be getting that support to next steps once they leave the high school. So thank you for all that work.
Dr. Russell?
Thank you.
Please note 10.03 is the notice of the video recording disclaimer. And with that being said, I will rule adjournment, and just note that the executive board met prior to the meeting today for the purpose of personnel and negotiations. Thank you guys very much. See you in October.